Lindsie Chrisley looks back on 2019 sex tape scandal with Bachelor Nation's Robby Hayes. Chrisley reflected on the impact of her 2019 sex tape scandal in a recent episode of Tyler and Caitlin Baltira's podcast. Lindsie Chrisley is reflecting on her 2019 sex tape scandal. She sat down with Teen Mom stars Tyler and Caitlin Baltira in the March 5th episode of their Kate and Ty Break It Down podcast. The Chrisley Knows Best alum recalled how her sex tape scandal occurred shortly after her parents Todd and Julie Chrisley were indicted for fraud 6 years ago. A couple of days after they were indicted, I was contacted at roughly, it was like 4 a.m., 3 a.m. from TMZ, Lindsie, 35, recalled. And they were like, "Hey, we have a police report that you filed regarding threats for a sex tape." I'm assuming that what happened is that once my parents were indicted, they started looking into all kinds of stuff and people started leaking stuff to media outlets, Lindsie speculated. TMZ got this and my pants because I was like, I only filed this as an informational report. Years prior, Lindsie claimed that a former friend tried to sell the alleged sex tape to her brother after Lindsie stayed at her house for a night, and dog cam caught her having sex with the Bachelorette alum Robby Hayes. Per my attorney's advice, he was like, "Go and file an informational report in your county. You don't need to do anything with it, but if anything does come about this, at least it's documented," she explained. "I never wanted anybody to know anything about this." At the time, Lindsie was separated from her now ex-husband Will Campbell and was seeing Hayes. Although they later divorced, Lindsie said she and Campbell, who share a son, had gotten back together when news of the video leaked online. "I don't need this him seeing me having sex with someone," Lindsie remembered thinking. "So I go to the FBI and I'm like, hey, this needs to be fully investigated, and if there is a tape, there does not need to be a tape. I never consented to a tape. I never knew that I was being videoed on a tape. Was I having consensual relations? Absolutely. But was I consenting to anybody filming anything? Absolutely not." When authorities called all parties in, she noted, everybody had a very different story and began getting their attorneys involved. Lindsie felt this was very much a red flag. "That tells me that there maybe was something," she said. All of that was transpiring. Media catches hold of all of this. So my parents have this indictment that's come down, and now this sex tape, and this is within days of each other. It caused a huge divide in my family, and I just wanted absolutely nothing to do with it, she added. "I'm like, I just want to do my podcast, and I just want to be with my husband and live a life." Shortly after news broke, Hayes spoke out about the situation, echoing Lindsie's claims. "We did not make a sex tape," the star said on the Housewives and Vanderpump podcast in August 2019. "I'm not sitting there with a camera aimed down and trying to get the angles. We got caught on the security camera, basically."